Hello everyone. I hope you will be healthy and good. I am Bawan from Tishik International University at second grade of Pharmacy Department. Today our topic is blood. In this video, I will answer this question. What's blood? What the components? What are the components of blood? How and where blood will be produced, the cancer of blood, which is leukemia disease, and blood clotting, also the groups of blood. In this video, I will try to answer these questions. First, what's blood? Blood has the ability of transporting of gases, nutrient hormones, and drugs molecules. If there's no blood, there's no life. Why, if there's no blood, there is no life? Because, for example, our body consists of cells, tissues, and organs. These components, these constituents, will do function in proper pH. But the balancing of this pH will be occur by helping and by action of blood. Because why? If there is no blood, there's no life. However, if we have a sample of blood in a tube, after that, by centrifugation, if we centrifuge this tube of blood, after this centrifugation, we see and we send that three part and three main component of blood. Bifid, which is consist of platelets, and WBC, which is white blood cells, and erythrocyte, which is RBC, and we can say red blood cell. After these, the remaining component of blood is plasma. We can see and mention these three components when we centrifuge a tube of blood. We can get these by centrifugation. And it is so important to mention the production of blood. Production of blood is an important mechanism in physiology. In bone marrow, there is what? There is hematopoietic stem cells. These hematopoietic stem cells in our bone marrow that's located inside our bone marrow, by action of interleukins, these hematopoietic stem cells will be divided into cells. These two cells are so important for production of the blood components. How and why? We say that hematopoietic stem cells, by action and by helping interleukins, this which is protein, will be divided into cells: myeloid progenitor cells and lymphoid progenitor cells. Lymphoid progenitor cells, all of molecules that will be defense mechanism in our blood, will be produced by this method. For example, T cells and B cells. And what about myeloid progenitor cells? All of cells that remained will be produced by this method and by this way. The cells are, for example, erythrocyte, platelet, eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil, macrophage, etc. This is about production of blood. Then I will be explaining the three main components of blood, which are RBC, WBC, platelets. I will talk about RBC. RBC, which is red blood cells, are called erythrocyte. This erythrocyte inside, for example, this is RBC. Inside, but it is so important that we know the shape of RBC. Shape of RBC is concave shape. This concave shape, inside this concave shape, we have hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is protein, so important for transporting gases. Which gases? The gases are CO2 and O2. The pigmentation of our blood will be occur and will be happen by action of this hemoglobin that's located inside our RBC. How the pigmentation will be occur? By helping and by assisting of hemoglobin. The pigmentation will be occur by transporting oxygen and CO2. For example, when this hemoglobin and the components of hemoglobin will bind to oxygen, our blood will be appear by brightly red color. If these components of RBC hemoglobin if bind to CO2, our blood will be darkness color. This is mechanism of pigmentation of blood. Life cycle of RBC is 120 days. After these 120 days, this RBC will be destruction by macrophage in our body, in our circulatory system, but the storage of the destruction RBC is liver. It is important. Don't be confused, please. And after this, it's important to talk about WBC. All of immunity in our body will be happen by helping and by assisting of what? By assisting of these WBC. However, WBC is so important for immunity because we have 5 types of WBC, but we will be categorized this WBC in 2 categories. First category is granular WBC or granular cell. Another one is non-granular cell. About granular cell, if you talk about it, we can say the cells of granular cells there are and have enzymes for defense mechanism, for immunity, and for destruction or killing the foreign substance that attack your body and our body. Granular cells, for example, eosinophil, neutrophil, basophil. In this video, I mentioned neutrophil. Neutrophil is first line of defense. For example, when a foreign substance want to enter your body and will be enters your body, the neutrophil message to liver to production protein. This protein will be trigger bone marrow, and Inside bone marrow, as we said, we have hematopoietic stem cells. To this message for what? For production more neutrophil and for getting more immunity and more defense. It's an action. It's a main action and main function of neutrophil. The number of neutrophil is so more. Is so more. Is so much. Okay? And after this, we can talk about what? Talk about non-granular. About non-granular, we have lymphocytes B and T, memory cell and lymphocyte T. Also, we have macrophage, monocyte in our body, and when we'll go to our blood and for defensing, it will be macrophage. After these, there are platelets. Platelets are not cells as RBC, but platelets are part of cell. Part of which cell? Part of megakaryocytic cell. Megakaryocyte cell. This megakaryocyte cell, by processing of megakaryocycle, will be destruction. The distracted part of this megakaryocyte, which is cytoplasm, will be platelets. These cytoplasms that are distracted by action and by processing of megakaryocycle is platelets. Platelets is in our body so few. We have few number of platelets. Platelets is essential for healing and treating injury. For example, we have injured vessel by needle. In this injured vessel, in the place of this injury and this rupturing the vessel, this place, a number of platelets will go to this place. By this action and by the way, vessel constriction will be occur. After that, the accumulation of platelets will be occur and will be happen. But by helping of what? By helping of calcium and fibrinogen. When this accumulation will be happen, blood clotting will begin. And after this, healing and treating, healing the injury will be happen by these components: platelets, calcium, and what? And fibrinogen. However, we have a disease. This disease is called leukemia. We know that all of cells in our body will be infected with cancer. Our body's cells, by the way, will be infected with cancer, but this cancer is called leukemia. And this leukemia is a cancer of blood cells. According to cells that originated that producing blood, we have 4 types of leukemia. 4 types of leukemia. First is acute uh, myeloid leukemia, chronic myeloid leukemia, and acute lymphoid leukemia, acute chronic lymphoid leukemia. We have these types of leukemia, but the dangerous one is acute myeloid leukemia because it's a cancer and carcinoma of all of blood cells. RBC, not WBC, RBC, platelets, basophils, eosinophils, and platelets. It is so dangerous. Also, the treating of this disease will be treated. The best treatment is bone marrow transportation. Bone marrow transportation is the best one. It's the best treating of this disease. And after that, there's blood group. Totally, there are 22 blood group. Depending on what? Depending on antigen and antibody. For example, the blood of A, group A of blood, has A antigen, and this group of blood has antibody of group B. Also, about other groups of blood, we can mention it and explain it by this way, as we said, as I said. And thank you for your listening. Thank you for your attention. Inshallah, you will, and you also, we will be healthy and good. Also you'll be avoid this coronavirus. I infected this virus. I hope you'll be healthy. Thank you. Thank you for your listening. Our God will be help you, inshallah. Thank you.